Hey everyone, it's good to be back. Thank you for being here with me. It is the end of the month of June, and I'm coming in on the heels of the full moon in Capricorn to do a tarot reading for you. There are lots of posts incoming to the Patreon page in the next 2 days that I'm really excited about. June was an interesting month in that it was just so compact and went by so quickly, and I spent most of my time in the garden and with the kids and doing housework. That here I am on within the last 2 days of the month coming in to meet with you, and I'm really grateful that I could squeeze this moment in and do a reading. And this reading could be, I was thinking earlier that it could be for July, but I think it could just be for the now moment. Anything, like we always do, anything that we need to know, we need to hear, we need to understand in this time. And I tell you, there's a lot going on, there's a lot swirling. I'm actually having like chest pain today, like right here. It's really interesting. Yeah. And resting has been a big priority as we are moving our bodies so much more. Restrictions are lifting for COVID, so there's just so much going on. I find it to be really overwhelming and overstimulating. I'm really not quite ready to be in a restaurant full of people just like it was pre-COVID. I just think that moving slowly into the shift and change of it all is probably best for our system on many levels. So I had this beautiful crystal here, this beautiful charger on the tarot cards, and it has beautiful seashells in it, and I've been really feeling the energy of the sea and the magic of the sea and the creatures that live in the sea, including like the energy of the mermaids and that deep green bluish water of northern Maine and other areas of the Northeast too. But I've just been feeling it as I spend time on the water in Vermont, on the lakes here, and I just feel like June and also July is a time for water magic and the life that water brings. And luckily, right now it's looking like the first 2 weeks of July up here is going to be wet, and boy do we need it. And the plants are very thirsty, and they're ready for the humidity in the air and the rain. So I'm looking forward to some strong growth in the garden and some more abundance for all of us in the Northeast for food and harvest, and herbal harvest too. A lot of the herbs have been suffering from the drought as well. So let's just pull a couple cards, or one card or two cards, whatever it's going to be for this now moment, for what the collective group of us, all of us mediums, need right now. What's a reminder that we just need to hear? It could be something simple, something direct, something understandable, something easy to capture. I'm getting 3 cards, so this card is the third. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Yep. Okay. Yep. Oh goodness. This is right. This is so spot on. This is so direct, and I'm really relieved and grateful. These cards. This is the Voyager deck. For those of you who don't know, it's my favorite tarot deck currently in existence, but there are so many beautiful decks out there. So I've been reading a book called, I don't have it on me, so I don't know the author's name, but it's The Mysteries of the Dark Moon, I think is what it's called. And it's how to do healing work and understand the real history and ancient understanding of the dark moon. So it's a book that talks a lot about death and rebirth and the natural cycle of it. and how sacred it is, and how the sun and the moon are a balance of each other, masculine and feminine, the sun being masculine, the moon being feminine, and how we need both of them to balance the life in between, which is us, which is Earth, between the two of them, right? So there's this like beautiful harmonic system, structure, balance in the movement of the star and the moon, the masculine and the feminine and the balance. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and the first card we got, which is upside down, because I think we've already gone through this, is what is coming to me, is of course death. And what I've noticed, I'm noticing that really sharp eye, right? Really potent energy. The other thing I've been noticing lately is when I say the word dark or darkness, people freak out. People get really uncomfortable, scared, and defensive and fearful. And I don't think it needs to be that way. I think that that's been seeded onto us to react that way and to push against it, when in actuality, the dark moon for example, the dark moon would give us time to do inner shadow work, deep work on ourselves, and as the moon returns, the crescent moon begins to come back. There's this rebirth, this sense of rebirth and reawakening and healing. And even just looking up the root word of dark and darkness, at this point in previous 100, 200 years, people go to evil when you say dark, but the two don't necessarily go together. Okay, so just some thoughts around that. It was upside down because I feel like we've already had a death, whether it's in our relationships with our partners. Maybe there was a separation, there's a death, or maybe there wasn't a separation and there was just a death of a part of the relationship so that a newness could come in, right? Which is, it's still painful, still feels like a separation even though it's not. Or a death in the self, a death of something old, something from childhood, something from a past life, something we've been carrying for a really long time that it's now time for it to go. Okay, so a death can mean so many things. It doesn't necessarily mean that we leave this dimension. It means that there's work to do, there's shadow work, healing, rebirth, death, rebirth, release. Okay? And with that release and making space and removing whatever it is that needs to just die away and fall away into nothing, comes clarity and awareness and knowing and coming closer to yourself, closer to your partner and yourself, closer to your relationships, closer to your purpose and what you're here to do. So the second card is the knower. Albert Einstein is one of my favorite clairvoyant knowers. He knew things. He understood things that in his time people did not. I mean, I think he was also looked at as crazy, and he wasn't. He was just tapped into the universe. So that's just it. When we can let those pain layers die so that we can come closer to ourselves, we're more connected to the universe. We're more connected to the downloads, the information, what it is we're supposed to be doing or need to be doing. Love, joy, happiness, the things that really fuel us are the things that connect us to our power, and our power comes with abundance and expansion and miracles, right? Miracles happen when you're in that connective space. So right here on the card, my video is funky today with some funky colors, but right here in the card is this hand with this beautiful kind of quartz reflective crystal, and that's the knowing. and in the connection to the universe and to the grand space of collective knowing and understanding and information that can come through. I'm not even looking at the cards. It's just flying out of me today. Yeah, like this beautiful, the hand, and then there's this beautiful like fluorite crystal here that comes and points to this like star galaxy sort of space here. And there's an expansion of knowing that comes in when you realize that there's more to our history than just humanity. And that, what I'm thinking of and what I'm including here is beings from the stars, beings from the universe that exist, that are alive, maybe not in a way our minds could understand, but they are, and they share information with us. From it does like distance doesn't matter. There's no separation, and in fact, some of them are still here in spirit and are assisting in the weaving of bringing people together, making things happen, creation. And it's funny, the next card is I'm moving into the next card already. And it's unseen and not understood in like the human mind. Like it's hard for the human mind to kind of open fully at this, I think it's getting better. I think people are, but it's been a slow change. And it's like we need to be in relationship with them to have, it's a sense of fulfillment that comes in. It's a sense of belonging and understanding when we are in connection with the star beings and the other living beings in the universe that watch over us, protect us, guide us, give us information, give us dreams, or are actually here on earth but in spirit form. So we may not necessarily see them unless you have the gift of that kind of sight, but they are here and weaving along with what you're weaving and guiding you in ways that you don't even know, but they are, okay? And maybe there are signs and visions that come in sometimes. Sometimes during a healing session, you're so deep in alpha beta state that these visuals will come in so much easier than just in the daily life and even in sleep. So in order to really tune into it, we do need to slow down and we do need to practice a sense of stillness. Deep, 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 deep stillness on all layers of the self. Energy, physical, inner, all of the things, okay? So that leads us to the light keeps going lighter and darker and lighter and darker in the yurt here because the clouds are just, I'll show you again in a minute once the light comes back. But this is the card of creativity. So again, the weaving together, the creation, we can do our own weaving. We have our own purpose and magic, but when we interweave with the other star beings and the other magical spirits and guides, the web is bigger. The web is stronger. The web contains more, and it has, there's a word trying to come in. It has more interlacing. Like it just has more layers to it that have more information that can be tuned into and shared. So if everything is consciousness, when we like meditate with a plant or go on a shamanic journey or a journey of some kind, what we're doing is tapping into that consciousness. All consciousness has information to share. So when we tap into that, we're tapping into that information that we can receive and understand. So in that weaving, in that additional collaborative weave, there's more information for you to download. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's so amazing, right? So let me try again. It's a little, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So again, there's this same fluorite crystal here that's in the knowing card is in the creativity card. So there's a connection here between the two. The death of the old, the pain layers, just focusing on the lessons. Focus on the lessons of those pain layers. What were the lessons so we can move on, okay? And not hold and not stay, because now's the time to clear it out and come and open, come into the knowing, come to the clarity and the connectivity to our sisters, our brothers, our family in the sky, okay? And in doing so, we're collaboratively creating. And I have to tell you, it's incredibly powerful. I do have, if you have seen or not seen the blog post on spiritedplaces.net by Sarah Young, she is a local medium here who has come, and I've talked about this sporadically before, and helped me hone in on what the feminine energy is here on this land. On the land in Mountain Hollow Medicinals, the feminine energy is just so strong. It's so strong that I wanted to understand it more. What is this? Why does it feel so deeply feminine? Turns out there's 12 feminine spirits here that support me and the work I do, and that they knew I was coming before I moved here. They've been a part of every facet of offering that I do here in the yurt. The yurt space was built in a collective, connective web of knowing. So at the time we built the yurt that I'm sitting in, we didn't know what for, but I knew it needed to be done. And my husband was so far from resistant, even though he didn't know either. He just was happy about it. And we built it together, him and I. And then it came, the things that I needed to do inside of it. And so the space was collaboratively chosen where to go and how and what it should feel like, where the windows point, everything collaboratively with the spirits here, so that they are very much a part of this space when healing happens. And it's been really important, and there's been so many lessons for me and so much learning and understanding of how we can be in a place and be called to a place and have such purpose in a place and worked divinely and collaboratively with spirits that dwell here, that are meant to be here, that chose to be here, that have permission to be here, and work on my clients with me and alongside me. It's one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in my life. I've always known spirits wherever I've lived in my life. I've moved around a lot, but never have I experienced such a strong, purposeful connection with the spirits here. Typically, spirits might be stuck, they might need help crossing over, they might just need to talk with you, they might just need to be seen. The spirits here have chosen to be here. They have permission from spirit on the other side to be here. So I like to talk to my students about this and my clients, my Reiki practitioners, when it comes to clearing work or helping spirits cross over. We never have permission to do that. We have to know. Okay, so we have to intuitively know that we need to do that. We might see it in our dreams. Information comes in beforehand and we're meant to do it. But you never just walk into a place and say, oh, there's spirits here, they need to go the other side. Absolutely not. You don't have permission to do that. So that's just an important side note that I like to repeat often, because it's so ingrained in people's minds that spirits need to be removed. No, they don't. some of them choose and have permission to be here. And there was something else I really wanted to say, but and on with the women that are here, that feminine energy, one of them just happens to be a star being. When she came through, Sarah and I really didn't understand who or what she was. She wasn't wearing clothing. She wasn't quite human. There was something about her, and she glowed. She had like a star, like glowing. And over time, Sarah has really assisted me in understanding who and what she is and why she's here. And she has gathered the women in spirit and in life. I think some of the magnetism and the calling that I had to this place was because of her. And there's a bigger purpose around my life and my spirit here, as well as the women who have lived here, who are now in the spirit world, who choose to remain here and help. There's a collaborative weaving between this star being, which Sarah and I decided to call her Amma at the moment because it's not super clear, but the information that was coming in, that sounded like what her name was. And she is one of the main, I see her now that I understand her more, as one of the main facilitators of this place. So when I first learned about her, I picked up the book Women of Lemuria. If you haven't heard of or seen that book, please look it up because it's worth reading and worth knowing about. It's incredible. The history far back before humans or the eldest humans on Earth is fascinating. And the DNA that we share with Lemurians, which are star beings, which is still in our DNA today. Not all of us, but some of us. And so when I see and think of Amma, I don't see her. Sarah sees her because Sarah has that clairvoyant vision. I haven't seen any of the spirits here. I feel them and they move my things and I know when they're around, but I haven't actually seen them. But when I think of Amma, I think of a Lemurian, the women of Lemuria. She is a woman of Lemuria, and her spirit is here, and she's working in this place and assisting me in removing the darkness so that things open and are more clear on this land and in this space and for others to come. And in knowing that she's here, we are collectively weaving together as long as also along with the other female spirits that are here, and what we're creating here is big. So this is the message for you, is that your own guides, your own angels, your own star being spirits are with you too. And how can we collectively weave with them to open up more, release the pain layers, let the death and rebirth happen. There's nothing scary about death, friends. It can be uncomfortable and painful and emotionally turbulent on all levels, but what comes after is an opening. Okay, so how can we weave our specialty and what you might be offering to your community and to the world, your natural gift, how can you weave that in with the spirit guides who are with you, the higher guides, the crystalline guides, the star beings, the Lemurians? How can you open and expand yourself more so that that weaving can happen and the expansion of what you do is only going to grow and just be more powerful and have more understanding and downloads coming in and more offerings. At the time we're in, it just seems like this is what we need to do. There's a lot of trauma in the world on all levels. I mean, I see it everywhere. It's just everywhere. It's all over social media, and it's all reactiveness, quick reactiveness, triggers trauma, on all levels and on all facets of humanity. and rightly so, because in history, some unbelievably horrid things happened, and we have a lot of work to do. So this is part of the work. And in offering what we offer in interweaving the web that we do, we're offering more to our clients, and we're supporting them in ways we don't even understand. We don't even realize how strong it is. We don't even realize how expansive their experience will be with us, because we have such a wider connectedness to what's going on, and we can see and hear and understand things that are beyond humanity. I hope this makes sense. It's flying right out of me, so I'm sorry that I'm talking so fast. But so what can you do? Can you journal about it? Can you start thinking about times in your life where you thought you might have experienced something like that? Working with spirit guides, working with star beings. Who are they to you? What does it mean to you to think of a star being? And what do you think it would offer to you? Just start working with your mind here, and be creative. Draw a web, draw a star. Do whatever it is that's going to help you expand and open to this. This is the time where humanity needs this knowledge. We need things that are beyond our basic human understanding in order to take care and heal ourselves, and in doing so we're healing the land around us, the place we're on, our family, our loved ones, and Mama Gaia herself. So it's really important work. I'm going to wrap that up here, as I'm sure my daughter it's been almost 30 minutes. That's about maximum for my 7-year-old. But I'm really grateful I could squeeze this in and connect with you today. And I hope that your summer is going wonderfully, that your gardens are abundant, your flowers are abundant, you're feeling the earth, you're feeling the trees, everything's alive, everything's buzzing, you're walking barefoot, you're connecting daily with nature, okay? And if anything comes up for you with this reading, if you practice connecting, I'd love to hear your experience as well. It's wonderful to share our experiences and help each other understand a bit more what might be going on. So sending lots of love, and I look forward to coming back very soon in July. July is going to be a busy hopping month here in the Hollow, and I'm really excited about it. Lots of events, lots of classes, lots of Reiki, lots of sessions, and a new podcast episode is going to be recorded today. Lots of things coming your way, so stay tuned. Sending love and light and sunshine and rain and lots of hugs.